Hi, this is Gary with Gary Sprinkler Repair Service, and today I'm going to show you how to set and program an Orbit indoor-outdoor timer. All right, so here we are with an Orbit indoor-outdoor timer. It's indoor and outdoor. You can see you can plug this in the garage if you were indoor with it, or since we're outdoors, as long as you have a little watertight cover over your plug outlet, it becomes an outdoor timer because it does have a watertight box on it. So you can see here what makes this an indoor-outdoor. Has a foam seal around the timer box here, and it does cover up the unit, so that makes it indoor or outdoor. If you were just installing this timer for the first time and you don't have it in yet, pretty much how it works on the inside here is we've got a place for the AC. That's not necessary since it has an exterior transformer. And then we've got over here, we've got our sensor location. You can see this timer has no wires for a rain sensor, but if you did have one installed, there'd be two leads here to the power, and then your rain sensor is mounted on the fence or on the wall, and it then tells you whether or not it's raining. So that's an accessory you can pick up for this timer. Also next to that is the common, and that's where your usually white wire goes on your timer. And this timer is a 4-station timer. You can see by the 4 numbers indicated here, and you can see we have 1, 2, 3 used and no number 4. So you can see green, yellow, red as our wire colors, and nothing on the last zone. Blue's not used, and nor is the brown or black. So and that's pretty much it on the inside. On the edge of the timer right here is your battery. So there's a little slot there. When you get a brand new timer, you have to pull the tab out and release the battery so it can do its thing. So this timer is currently sitting in the off position. So you can see here it says off, and the dial is to off facing this line. Anytime you want to change something, there's a button here for enter and clear. So if you screwed up and you didn't want it there anymore, you can just hit clear and take it out, and then go ahead and put plus or minus to put it in. It's pretty intuitive, and that's pretty much it, and then hit enter. And it does have a program button up here and also a rain delay. Programs, let's say if you wanted to run your lawns in a program and have them water every day except for Thursday when the gardener comes, you could do that. And you could keep the shrubs or the different zones for the plants in the B program, and you could still have those water on Thursdays when the gardener comes. So that's the point of having an A, B, and a C program. This clock has all 3, A, B, C. C would be, let's say you have a vegetable garden and you wanted to water that once a week for an hour on that zone. Just put it in there by itself, tell it what day of the week, put it in C program, and it wouldn't be an A or B program. So that's the purposes of the different programs. A lot of people think that stands for front and back. With the B, it does not stand for backyard. It just stands for B program. Anyway, kind of a overcast day, so it's not a best day to look at it, but you can see it currently says off on the timer. If I had no power down here at all, and there'd been a lightning strike and the timer shuts itself off, and we verified down here that we have power, but we have nothing displaying on our timer here, then take a ballpoint pen and push the little reset here. That should restore the clock and bring it back up and wake it up again. It's just kind of a fail-safe that it does to protect itself. So I want to move forward real quick with going ahead and getting this timer programmed. So I'm going to show you, normally this is where it would sit if it's programmed and ready to go, in the auto position. If you look here, you can see it's currently 10:21 a.m. and it flickers back and forth and says the next time to water is going to be at 7 a.m. in the A program. So I'll kind of zoom in so you can see it do that. And then it goes back to the date and time. You can see down here it does flicker back and forth. It says it's set to water at 7 o'clock Friday morning. It's currently Thursday at 10:21 right now. And then this clock does that. It keeps pulsing back and forth between those two things. So that's if you wanted your clock to run and actually water. If you didn't, you just turn that off to face this line. First thing you want to do with a new clock is come to current date and time. So if I had this set incorrectly, if it wasn't 10:22, I could change that with plus or minus. It'll probably say noon there. If you have a brand new clock, you can just hit clear. That would clear that out, and then plus or minus here, you can put in the correct time, and then when you're done, make sure you hit enter, and then it'll show the current time. Next, you'd go to set the date. So turn the dial to set date, and you can see it says 2018, and if you look, the Y is blinking for the year, and that is correct. So next, I want to move forward, so there's more than one thing there. So if that was 17 and I had it wrong and I wanted to make it 18, I could just hit the plus to turn it to 2018, and then come down here and make sure I hit enter. Next, you want to use the right arrow or the back arrow. So that's what these guys are for, to move back and forth. Because you can see it's currently showing that it's the year. We want to make it show the month. So I'm going to put my finger here and I'm going to push that button and watch it move to the M. So now the M is blinking and it is January. So I can change that. If it was February, I could hit plus to change that, and then I'd have to hit enter when I'm done. So just choose your month with plus or minus, hit enter over here, and then you're going to go ahead and hit the right arrow again over here, and we're going to move it to the day. So we hit it again, and now you can see the day is moving and blinking, and it says the 11th, and that's correct for today. So again, if that was wrong, plus or minus would change it. Make sure you hit enter. We're done there. So if I leave, I can come over here to start time. This clock, as we saw earlier, is currently set to water at 7 a.m. in the A program. If I wanted to change that, I can always hit clear and put plus or minus to put in whatever time I want. When I'm done, always hit enter. If you're not sure if everything you did worked, let's say I changed that to 7:30 and I was done with plus putting in 7:30 and I hit enter. To make sure that that worked, I can leave with the dial and come back to that. And it should say 7:30 if that's what I wanted, but I still want 7 a.m. on this timer, so I'm going to leave it where it's at. Next is your run time. That's the individual zones. So we saw down below, I think we had a green, a yellow, and a red wire. And so those wire colors are going to be our 3 zones that we have. In this case, they're all the same drip zones. And for the springtime, a good watering time in California, here in Northern California, is 15 minutes per zone. So you can see zone 1 in program A was set to water for 15 minutes. We know that we have 3 zones because there's 3 wires. So we're going to come over here, hit the next arrow to move forward, and we're going to see that number 1 change to number 2. That means zone 2 has a 15-minute watering time as well. If I wanted less time, I could hit minus a couple of minutes if I wanted, and then hit enter, and it'll save my change. I don't want to change it. I'm going to keep it 15 minutes. So I'm going to go forward to number 3, and there's zone 3. And you can see it's set for 15 minutes as well. So all 3 are the same type of zones here, and they're all going to be set to water for the same amount of time. So again, if I change that at all, make sure you hit enter. If I go forward to number 4, there's not currently a zone 4 programmed on the clock, because as we saw below, there was a green, yellow, and red wire, no number 4. So this only has 3 zones programmed. Next is how often. This is a mistake a lot of people make. You come down here and you can see the boxes that are set around the days of the week. So currently, if we look here, sorry about that, you can see it's blinking on Sunday, and Monday's not blinking, Tuesday's blank, and so forth. If you wanted to put Sunday out of there, you could hit the clear button here, or you could hit the minus button here. And it will automatically, so if I did that, let's say I'm going to do that, just to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to come over here to the clear button. I'm going to let you see Sunday is blinking, and now I'm going to hit clear. So then it takes Sunday off, so it won't water on Sunday. So it has to have a box around it to water. Now, I want Sunday actually in there, so for me, for now, I'm going to back up, because right now, if you look, it's actually blinking. If I get that off of there, it's actually blinking right now on Sunday. I want to make a choice. I said, no, I don't want it anymore. I got rid of it. I can now move forward with the arrow and move it to Tuesday, or excuse me, Monday. And now Monday's blinking, and I can choose plus or minus with whatever I want to do. So you can either do that from here and move forward, or you can clear it and move forward, however you want to do it. Either way works. So probably the easiest way for me is I usually like to see what's blinking. I hit plus or minus, and then it automatically moves to the next day for you. And then always when you're done, you want to hit enter. So I'm going to back up right now and get Monday to quit blinking. I'm going to go back right here with the back arrow to get it back to Sunday. Sunday's now blinking, and I'm going to hit enter. And it puts a box back around it. To double check yourself, leave there with the timer. So I went back to my run times, and then come back to your water days. And you can double check and make sure that you've remembered to hit enter, because it'll be, all the boxes will be Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so they're still there. So we remembered to hit enter. And then the next position is water budget. And what that is it says it's currently set to do 100% of what you asked it to do. It's referring to our watering times on run times. it's going to do 100% of what we told it to do. So zone 1 will be 15, 2 for 15, and 3 for 15. All 3 of those will do 100% of what we asked them to do. The purpose of that water budget is that, let's say it's going to be super hot for a few days and then go back to normal weather. You can hit the plus sign and change that to like 150% instead of 100%, hit enter, and it will change all 3 of those zones all by themselves in the A program. So it'll change 15 minutes to 15 plus half of that, so about 22 minutes. It'll add, it'll do its original 100% plus 50% longer runtime. A couple days later, when your weather goes back to normal, you can come over here to budget, take it back down to 100%, hit enter, and now each zone will go back to being 15 minutes each instead of 22 each. So it's just kind of a cool feature. And in the fall, you could go the other way. If it's starting to cool down, but you still want to water the same amount of time, easy fix. Just come in there and go ahead and do your quick watering time, change down to 80% or whatever, and hit enter. And then we're back to off, and we're ready to go, because this timer is going to currently be left in off. If you wanted it to run, you put it in auto, and again, it'll flicker back and forth. It'll say the day of the week. It'll say when it's going to water next on Friday, and it's going to water at 7 a.m. in the A program, and it's currently 10:28 a.m. in the morning right now. But for our purposes today, I'm going to go ahead and select it to off. So, and that's it. So if you liked our video today and you felt like it was helpful, please give us a thumbs up, because those are really helpful in where we come in on placement on YouTube, as well as share it with your friends.